What's up guys? Thank you for watching another tutorial of mine. We will start with the outliner to make our first outline. Usually I like to put it right on the corner of the head where the shape up, where it has the shape up. Usually it's right there. So I usually put it there, make a nice straight line, and I'm gonna clean from the bottom to the top. So make a nice straight line across. Um, Once you got that line across, you keep going with the rest of the head. And remember, I started on the corner. The reason why I started in the corner is because I use it as a guideline. I use it so that on the other side, I do the same thing. I put it on the corner, so that way both sides are the same. Because usually, symmetrically, clients' heads they're symmetrically equal, so they're very symmetrical. So you can use their head to be able to make a nice straight lines, and that way you can have a nice same fade all the way around. Once you make sure everything's cleaned up, make sure you get everything nice and tight, then you start using the Andes Pro Foil shaver just to get it nice and bald. You wanna make sure that it's nice and clean, nice and smooth. Um, and just when I do the Pro Foil shaver, I like to put pressure on the bottom, but as soon as I'm going closer to that line, the first line that I made, I like to flick it out. Flick it out just like you see in the video. Just flick it out a little bit right when you're, I'll say about half inch from the first line. That's when I start flicking it out. If you do make a line with it, it's okay. You can use the outliner most likely to take out the line, but you want to avoid that just because it's hard to take out. You don't want to make your job two times harder. You see, now that you can see they're both sides the same. So now that they're both the same, then I start fading out. You don't, you gotta make sure everything's the same. So now you're gonna do it. You're gonna put it into the half. I'll call that open. It's an open clipper. Then you're gonna make your first guideline, which is say about an inch or so. About an inch. Make sure everything's all even. I'll go over it about twice. Once you have everything even, then you put the lever a little bit higher, and you go lower on the head. A little bit higher on the lever, go lower on the head. Until it fades out. As you can see, now I'm gonna use the one plastic guard, and I'm gonna do another inch of guideline. So we're gonna make sure we can give ourselves some space so I can start. So because after I put the number one, I'm gonna use the 1/16 inside the space that I opened up with the one. So you can see here, that's a close one. I'm gonna do it right under the first line that I made. And as like I was telling you previously, I'm gonna use the 1/16, and it's gonna go right under the hair, the first line that I made with the one. So right there where my fingers ends, right there. I'm gonna keep it, and we're gonna put it closer. Put the lever closer and closer until it fades out. Boom. Now I'm gonna skip the 1.5 and go straight to the 2, only because he doesn't want anything off the top, and I don't want to keep eating into the hair. So I wanna keep it low. I wanna keep the fade where I want it. I don't want it to keep going up and up and up, or else it'll turn into a faux hawk. And I don't want that. So now that's a 1.5. Just to clean up the rest. And I'm gonna go over it again just because I see some dark spots here and there. So I'm gonna repeat all the process again, but I have a little bit more experience, so I'm just gonna use. I already know where the half it was before, so I can go back to it. Now I'm gonna use the T outliner just to get that line out of the first line that I made with the outliner. Now I'm gonna repeat the same process that I did on the right side of the client. I'm gonna do the same process on the back. I like to do this on every single haircut. I like to work on one side until it's faded out completely. I like to make sure that one side is completely faded out the way I want it, because if you don't do that, then it's gonna be hard to fade the rest of the hair, only because one side it's not faded all the way in, which is gonna make your whole haircut look really bad. So you want to make sure that every single side that you do, you fade it out. And you can see I repeated the same process. I haven't changed anything. You know, I went to the half. After the half, I faded out the line from the 0 to the half. Then after did the half, I did a 1. Then after did the 1, I faded it out with the 1/16. Once that's done, then I use a 2, fade that out, use a 1.5, fade the first garland that I made with the 2. And last but not least, I'm gonna use the Andes trimmer to take out the line from the 0 and the half. As you can see, it's nice and clean. Once I got the back, now I'm gonna proceed the same procedures, just like the right side, just like the back. You repeat on the left side as well. So we're gonna let the video show you exactly what I'm doing. And I just went straight to the line so I can take it out. Yep. Now that it's gone, I'm gonna use a 1. Do the same procedures. 1. I'm gonna put the lever high, and then go under the 1. Now I'm gonna use the 1/16, fade that line out. You know, little by little, going up and with the lever. So about 4 times. That's what I do. It's 4 times going up until I reach to the maximum. And remember that the higher you get, the higher you put the lever on the clipper, the lower you have to go on the head. You cannot stay on the same spot because you'll make a line. So now I'm gonna use the 4-3-2 technique. You know, that's just to smooth out the corners. Remember, he said I don't want, you know, he told me that he doesn't want anything cut off the top. So I'm gonna smooth out the corners. I'm gonna use the 4-3-2 technique that I've used on other tutorials that I have uploaded already. So, you know, once you get that one side done, you're gonna do the other side, and you're gonna make sure that, you know, the corners are smoothed out. As you can see, 4, that's a 3. I recommend you guys get the colorful plastic guard combo so that you can see the numbers. You know, they're pretty universal. I have a lot of, you know, a lot of barbers have that. So every time you see a video of mine, you can actually compare it and you can see what I'm doing better. So now I'm gonna fade out that sideburn. You know, I usually use as a half, put it closer, closer, and closer, and just clean out the back, and then until it fades out. Now, and we're gonna make sure that the corners, they're both the same. Don't worry about the front, you know, too much. Worry about the corners first, and then move to the front. I'll show you right now. So once I get that corner real nice and sharp, you go to the middle. So you go from corner to middle, and you line that up real nice, as you can see. And then we always brush down the hair so you can get all those little hairs. And I'm gonna start from the middle to the other corner, you know. But if you don't have too much experience doing shape ups, you might wanna start from the corner to the middle on the other side as well. You might wanna put them in front of the mirror and check the corners first. Once you get the corners perfectly aligned, then you line up, you make sure that the middle of the forehead it's real sharp, and you line up with the rest of the points. So as you can see, I'm constantly brushing it down so it's nice and sharp. Right about the middle, right there. So then now that I have that nice and sharp, the way you want it, the way he likes it, then we're gonna go ahead and hit it with some scissors just to smoothen it out just a little bit. He got some hair sticking up, so I'm gonna take care of that. His hair is pretty kind of thin, so it's not really that hard to smooth out in the corners. Once you fade that out, put it away, and you're gonna go ahead and clean up behind the ear. Remember, this spot right here, clients hate when you leave hairs in the back. I will hate it too. So you want to make sure that you clean right under the neck. Take that neck strip off. That's my procedures. You know, I like to take the neck strip, make sure everything's clean. You know, make sure everything's in. You know, you turn it into studs, as you can say, and then you use the shaver, and then you will clean. You go over with the iron just to smoothen it out, just to get into the skin. And then once you get it to the skin, then it's nice and clean. So now we're gonna do the shape up, throw in some water. I actually like to do stuff like that. You know, to spray and cover the eyebrows with the and the eyes with my other hand. It's faster, and you get the forehead a little bit more softer when you spray a lot of water. So once you got the water in there, now you're gonna use the razor and just clean up. You know, don't try to make straight lines with it. Just clean up the edges, clean up all the excess hair that the other trimmer left. And now that you did that, you just put some talcum. And this is very crucial. You wanna make sure that the client is clean at all costs. Only because a lot of people hate the hair all over their heads and their shirt. So you might want to clean it real nice. You know, people would appreciate that, and you'll go far with that technique. Now, also I like to do the after shave. I like to apply it just so they don't get any bumps. You know, some people get allergic reaction to Pro-Foil, so you might want to put that to close down those pores. You know, and it disinfects the whole head, and it's a clean thing to do. And I'm gonna just show you a little 360 here, how it was the end of the result of the haircut. And as you can see, it's clean. He's smiling, so this is what he wanted. So that's what we gotta give him. So if you guys have any other questions, don't feel free to ask. Feel free to send me a message. If you guys have any other requests, what kind of haircuts you guys want. So like and share this video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.